Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahshua, Hashem, Kakodah, Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. Anyway, this is going to be a response to video. I didn't even get a chance to watch the whole video. Like 3 minutes in, and I had to do something. Anyway, it says, this is put up by Bakwa Math. Subscribe and be edified. Him and his brother do very good videos. Anyway, it says Dream. Bishop Nate of the Iuic got jumped by his congregation. So what I'm going to do is, now I did a video doing a response to a video that Vocab did. He did a response to a video that IUIC did with what's this guy's name? Sam Kennison, I think his name is, and I believe he's a freelance writer. I think he wrote for the New York Times, but he's a well-respected writer for more than one newspaper, magazines, whatever. So this is 1 minute 23 seconds in. Matter of fact, I'll bring it back 5 seconds. Okay, so it says Bishop Nate's old congregation wanted to delete him. I put up by myself, GMS declaring the end. So I'm going to just let you listen. Then I'm going to play the rest of, well, I'm going to go to the beginning of this video, which is 20 minutes long. It's not long. So listen up. Let me mute it. I'm most likely not going to even say anything. I'll just play this, stop it, and just go to the next video. I may say a word or two. So let me mute it. Let me let you hear it. I'm not going to say too much after this.
Well, they said, one brother said, I had a dream that you were teaching the Bible, and there was a long line of us with bats, and we treated you like a piñata. I was like, y'all hitting me? He said, yeah, we were trying to kill you. And then when you died, we all went into the kingdom of heaven. So I said, really? So I myself better get out of here. These people are going to try.
So he was actually kicked out. The people under him wanted him out. You know, his spirit separated, disconnected from his body. So it was a mutiny of sorts. Let's look up the word mutiny. That's why that House of David, 12 Tribe Productions, they all scattered to others. He was the only one left. So let me go. Mutiny, mutiny, mutiny. Mutiny definition. Mutiny is a rebellion against.
I better get out of here. These people are going to teaching the Bible, and there was a long line of us with bats, and we treated you like a piñata. The Bible, and the brother said, the story.
Truth, man.
Interesting. I have to go.
Like, Nathaniel, speak truth, man.
Interesting. I have to go.
Like, Nathaniel, truth, man.
Interesting. I have to go. Street madness.
Speak truth. And he's saying they're trying to kill me. Like, Nathaniel.
You see, even Vocab is frustrated and pissed off. He's saying, yo, Nathaniel, speak truth, man. He's genuinely mad and upset. All right, let me go back. Let me mute it.
Relatively early stage, because he was a younger man at this point. He's had a martyr complex. From a relatively early stage, he's had a martyr complex. This doesn't even say they were trying to kill him. It's a guy saying he had a dream about them killing him. And he's saying they're that we were all beating you to death with bats and then went into the kingdom. Now, Nathaniel's saying he stood against that, what he would think of, at one point it was called. When he left the ICUPK, okay, he went to House of David with Mashah, and then after that was something called the 12 Tribes. When he was at 12 Tribes, there's a lot of rumors about what happened. There's a rumor that one of the leaders, to show you didn't have to keep the law, made everybody eat ham sandwiches. Now, Nathaniel's saying he stood against that, what he would...
That was bullshit. He didn't stand against it. He was for it. Maybe he was initially against it, but he was ultimately for it because he told me on the phone after the split. He had my number, my cell phone number, and he told me that himself and the leadership said they came up, they had a little meeting saying that we don't got to keep the laws no more. And we're going to tell the congregation they don't got to keep the laws, and they got to prove that they're not keeping the laws by eating pork. It wasn't a ham sandwich, but eating pork. And then whether it was a Friday, I don't remember, but he remembered the congregation was there. Let's say it was on a Friday, whatever the case may be, Saturday. That Monday, when everybody showed up, he noticed that there were 14 people missing. They were all men. He said 14 brothers were missing. They didn't show up, and that's when he knew he was off on the don't keep the laws, and by agreeing to the eating of the pork. That's what he told me. Now you can say that you never said that. Okay. All right, that just proves one thing. You're a fucking liar if you're going to say that. Okay, you said that to me on the phone after the split. After everything got broken down and became nothing. All right? Now, what confirmed that this did happen was when we started, about 2008, we was on 34th Street and 7th. And there was a crowd there, and there was one brother, kind of heavy-set brother. And when I said the story, he raised his hand. He said, I was one of the 14 brothers. So he confirmed it. All right? And by the way, Bishop, the great and powerful, all-seeing, all-knowing Maha nigga, he said that Mashah was no longer king because he had a dream that Mashah told him in the dream to remember, dreams can be visions, but dreams could also be how does it go? And come in a multitude of business. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not going to the precept. The scriptures also said dreams lift up fools. So when you have a dream, it doesn't mean that you have a dream, that you're flying or whatever. It doesn't mean to jump out the window, see if you can fly, because that dreams lift up fools. I had a dream that I was flying, so guess what? I'm gonna see if I can really fly. Dreams lift up fools. So sometimes you have dreams. You might have had a bad tuna fish sandwich. You know the old saying, they say a bad tuna fish sandwich or whatever. And Bishop Nate always had dreams about everything. I had a dream about this, I had a dream about that, I dreamt of that. And he also dreamt that the oil was taken away from him. And I believe that was actual vision, not so much of a dream. He told myself, it was myself, Apostle Gabar, and I believe Apostle Ricard. I think it was us three. And he was saying that he had a dream that the oil was taken away from him, pursuant to Matthew 25. And at the end of the dream, the oil was given back to him. And I believe that was an actual vision. Wasn't just no regular random dream. So my question is, at one time, he didn't have the oil. Was it back then? Or is it now? It's obviously now because he's teaching that the hell doctrine, Roman Catholic, no longer teaches a name. Now because of a guilt. Now he said, like this past Saturday, they said Jesus, and then he said Yahushua, Joshua. And the reason why he says that now, because of us, because we've been getting on him, man. We are the watchmen. Ain't nobody getting on Nate. Ain't nobody. Sakari bigged him up. Why would Sakari, the head of Sakari, big IUIC up when they teaching about hell? When they teaching that you can only have one woman. And I know the leader of Sakari, and I guess other men in Sakari, have more than one woman. What else? The MOTB. Just to name 3 things. You know? What else? Well, those are 3 things. That's all you need. The MOTB, based upon the fact that he's saying the MOTB is something other than the micro C-hip, Sakari should get on him. Look, you guys are going off. There's no way I'm going to praise a man that's teaching that nonsense. No way I'm going to praise a man, if he's teaching that there's a hell. No way I'm going to praise an Israelite man that's teaching you can only have one wife. If you got a wife on the side, even if she don't got a man, that's adultery. That's clearly taken away from the book, from the law. So let me let you listen to a little bit more, and then I'm going to go to the other video.
Think of as being antinomian strand that had crept in. Okay, this is from his perspective. But people who were detractors of Nathaniel within the oneness spectrum, they claimed that he was the one leading the charge, making people eat the ham sandwiches, and then later repented.
And vocab is correct, according to what Bishop Nate told me. He didn't say, "Well, I was against it, and they kind of forced me." Like Aaron said, the people told me to take the gold, and the calf came out. Aaron was passing a buck. But he told me that the leadership told them they don't have to keep the laws, and they got to prove they got not keeping the laws by eating pork. He was with it. He told me on the phone. When the 14 guys left, sound like a broken record. When the 14 guys left, he realized that he went off.
I don't know what the truth was because I wasn't there, but somebody was making somebody eat ham sandwiches at 12 Tribes of Israel, apparently. And Nathaniel says that they tried to kill him when he was about to leave out of 12 Tribes of Israel. And Sam says, really? And the way he describes it is, well, a guy says he has a dream that we were all beating you to death with bats and then went into the kingdom. Honestly, all I can say about this is that, first of all, one Westers be having a lot of weird dreams, and they put way too much stock in them, and they simply shouldn't, because they're basically a delusional religion, frankly. And I say that with all due respect. You should stop believing your dreams, because that's really all what your religion is. It's a product of your own mind. Frankly, I just need to speak to you directly, guys. And honestly, this also shows that Nathaniel, from a relatively early stage, because he was a younger man at this point, he's had a martyr complex. From a relatively early stage, he's had a martyr complex. This doesn't even say they were trying to kill him. It's a guy saying...
For the ones of you that say, what's a martyr complex? A martyr complex is when you want to die for a cause. Like this guy that set himself on fire at the Trump trial. He had a martyr complex. He wanted to go out at a big bang. Like Daffy Duck, if you know what I mean.
Saying he had a dream about them killing him, and he's saying they're trying to kill me. Like, Nathaniel, speak truth, man.
Interesting. I have to go. This is straight madness.
Really?
Well, they said, one brother said, I had a dream that you were teaching the Bible, and there was a long line of us with bats, and we treated you like a piñata. I was like, y'all hitting me? He said, yeah, we were trying to kill you. And then when you died, we all went into the kingdom of heaven. So I said, really? So I better get out of here. These people are going to try to kill me. So I was out.
And so because had you been kind of speaking against or...
All of a sudden, they become these people. Not my students, my flock. He said, these people are trying to kill me. So let me get the hell out of here. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you all that when they make the MOTB mandatory, don't be surprised if they line up with them baseball bats and treat them like a piñata or just leave. I guarantee you, if you have any of the elect that's in the IUIC, and I believe that I know for a fact that there are sincere people, I'll say men, see them on the street. There are sincere men, I don't know about the women, in the IUIC. That's just my personal belief. You watch these guys speak, they do speak from the heart. But they're speaking according to what the script that they were given. Them guys are given the script. They break the scriptures down the way the good bishop, wants them to break it down. Y'all got me? Y'all with me? So when the MOTB actually comes around, you got, whether it be Trump, there's going to be breaking news, and they're going to say, they're going to really push that charagma, and then you're going to get time to think about it. They're going to push it. It's a smart way to commercials, celebrities. This is very convenient, and there's going to be a lot of, and then the government will probably hack your cards so you can get rid of your cards. Everything's going digital. If you go to like a BJ's or a Costco's, I don't have a membership in Costco's, but I got a membership in BJ's. Sometimes I like to pay with cash. Sometimes it'll say cash, sometimes it'll say cash credit card, and sometimes it'll say cash, then it'll say credit card or debit card only. So I got a debit card, and I got a couple of credit cards. So I just rip it out, but I like to pay with cash. So, but eventually they're gonna. Oh, what did they do with the C Ragamuffin? Remember when we go into the stores, we couldn't leave the house unless you were going to the supermarket or whatever. Man, I was doing the fucking. Man, I said, "Fuck you." You ain't gonna lie, man. Fuck you. But it was great back then because when you got on the highway, there was no traffic. Everybody was scared to death, wearing masks. If you came into a store among Jake and you didn't have the mask on, there were stories that they beat the shit out of them over cops. These cops, NYPD, they were beating the hell out of people while they were not wearing masks. So this was mass hysteria. And you got to get. We were looking for a cure, a vaccine, and like in 8 months, they found about 6-7 pharmaceuticals, all found it at the same time, which is a miracle. They tell you that it could take 15 years. If it'll be a miracle if they come up with a vaccine for any of these unknown diseases, whatever you want to call it. It could take 10 years. That's considered a miracle. 5 years is a super miracle. 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months, and 6-7 different pharmaceuticals got it, and everybody lined up. I remember certain places where you had motherfuckers lined up looking all nervous with their mask on. So I'd say the same thing happening with the MOTB. They might throw the disease in. If you don't got the MOTB, you can get the disease because there's pharmaceuticals in there or whatever the case may be. But there's going to come a time where you got a time. Here I go talking about the MOTB again. But it's coming. It's coming. And everybody's going to know. Well, GMS, the ones that mostly talk about it, the MOTB, they're going to give you a deadline. It's going to start with the military, the police, nurses, doctors, medical workers, government agencies. Then it's going to go to private companies. And then it's going to come down, eventually it'll come down to, if you want to get welfare, you got to get the micro C-HIP. If you want to get food stamps, you want to get Section 8. And then you don't need welfare, you need Section 8, you don't need this, but you got cash, and cash is not going to be any good, and a credit card's not going to be any good. because you can't bank. You can't. They're going to close your account because you got to have the charagma. And then there's going to be a point where people are going to get nervous. And if there's any of the elect in the IUIC that are window shoppers, keep window shopping. Keep coming over here to GMS. Because if you're sincere and you're a part of the elect, you're going to be on that long line with a baseball bat ready to hit a black piñata, whatever you call it, piñata. It's a black piñata. And candy's not going to come out. Worms are going to come out. You better repent. You better repent. Because you're going to have to deal with that decision. They're going to say GMS was always right. And you, nigga, you was always wrong. So we going to kill. That might be thinking about that. You know? Remember, you had the dream. You had the dream that the oil was taken away from you and that the oil was given back to you. So let's hope that that part. Right now, the oil is not in you. That's why you're teaching this wayward mass, this madness. Anyway, let me come over here, and I'm gonna get it from the tippity top.
And foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And through the Spirit, I wanted to share a dream, that I just had earlier this morning. And it was pretty random, but it goes in line with what I put in the title. And, basically as I was sleeping, I woke up, getting close to the time that I usually wake up. And so, I went to use the bathroom and everything. And, usually when I wake up around that time, I'm not able to go back to sleep, so I just wake up. But this time, for some reason, my eyes just felt, heavy, like the sleep was just still there heavily, so I came back, laid down for a bit, and I had this dream. And long story short, within this dream, I was walking home, basically I was walking home, and there was this individual that was, he was communicating with me. He was talking with me as I'm walking home. And I didn't know who he was at first, but, he was just asking me questions, X, Y, and Z. And so as we're walking, there's this, I just see somebody, like there's a gate, a door, metallic-ish, kind of gate on my right side. And I just see somebody get dragged out, like they just get tossed out straight from the gate. And they're just getting like jumped, they're just like getting beat up. And all of a sudden, the individual that was following me, talking to me on my left side, turned into the second in command of the IUIC. Now, I didn't recognize his face or who he was. In the dream, I just knew that he was the second in command of the IUIC. And the individual that was getting beat, that got thrown out the gate, was Nate, Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC. And so, I saw I caught a glimpse of his face when he was thrown onto the floor. And I'm like, hold up, is that Nate? And then all of a sudden his second in command just jumps in. He sees it. He gets angry for some reason, and he just jumps in, and they're all just like beating him up, kicking him, stomping him, like ripping up his shirt and shit, like tossing him around. And I say it was about like 5 or 10, men in the IUIC or so. And they were just like, just like really angry, trying to like, really whipping his ass. And so, I walked across, and I'm like, that looks like Nate. Like this is the IUIC. What the hell is going on? And then they basically started to drag his ass back to the other side of the gate to continue beating him up. And there was an individual next to me, the appearance he had, he looked like an individual I used to work with. And I'm like, for some reason, I just asked him, I'm like, yo, that looks like Nate of the IUIC. Isn't that Bishop Nate? So he goes to get a closer look, sees his face, comes back to me and says, "Yep, that's him. That's Nate." And all I see is they're just like beating him up. They're whooping his ass. Like, they were angry. And I don't know what the cause was in the dream.
Now it's funny. I'm watching this. I'm looking at the three images of Bishop Nathaniel, and what's playing in my head is the song "The Cult of Personality." The cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality. That's put out by a group that disbanded called In Living Color. They believe they're from Brooklyn, because I believe Barack of the HODC used to live. Them guys were kind of coming up. But one of their famous hits is the Code of Personality, song which I'm listening to the brother, the young elder, and I'm listening to it in the back of my mind. Like Mussolini or Kennedy. The cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality. Anyway, let's go. You know me, man. Sometimes you gotta give it a little levity. But that's just playing in my head, bro. That's just playing in my head. The cult of personality. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna read the lyrics to the song. Because Kennedy was a cult of personality. Any president, they make him. Donald Trump is a cult of personality. Hitler, cult of personality. Bishop Nathaniel, cult of personality. So
I just know that it was very sudden. It appeared out there. It's just like this scene just like played out right then and there. And, and then I woke up. Now, I mean, they didn't like kill him, but there were definitely kicks and punches and slaps going on in there, and he just looked like, he couldn't even, he was getting cooked, so that's when I woke up. And, initially when you wake up from a dream, it still feels just like a dream, but as I actually started to process and think about what was going on, I was like, oh, shoot, that was very random. Like I personally, I mean, I might not say I don't have dreams, maybe I do. I just don't remember them, but I don't remember dreams often. That's why I don't really do a lot of videos on having dreams, because I barely, have dreams and remember them and so on and so forth. And so this one was like pretty random. And through the spirit, I thought I'd share it, because it's very interesting that now, and not just the IUIC, you have a lot of these other groups, but in this dream, it was more so centered around the IUIC. You've had the apostles and the elders, of Great Millstone, and saying that the Lord is going to break up that congregation, and there's just been numerous wild, things that they've been saying. We've explained it time and time again, things like the new moon, when is the actual, new moon, the difference between the new moon and the full moon. They're still not stopping the whole, a lot of the different damnable heresies that they've come out with, and they're still doubling down on. Okay. And so, and I remember, I think yesterday, I was watching a video that the Apostle Ramlab had done. And at some point, I don't remember the exact video, but at some point, I think he was mentioning that he was talking about these false prophets and false teachers. And he said that there's going to come a point where their followers are going to get angry, and he said they're going to tear them limb from limb. Yeah, I remember him saying that. He said they're going to tear them limb from limb, But anyway, let me get a couple of precepts here, because the judgment of being a false teacher, see, it's sweet in the moment, it's sweet in the moment. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like how when you come into this truth, it's sweet, but then,
And Bishop Nathaniel is a false teacher. And Bishop Nathaniel is a false teacher. He's leading his congregation astray. When you teach things like hell, eternal hell, MOTB is sin in all of its forms, whether it be political or religious, which they used to teach about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, that it has nothing to do with people, that it's only talking about corporations and countries. Small countries and great countries, rich countries and poor countries. Has nothing to do with people. Well, when you jump down to the 17th verse, Revelation 13:17, it says, "And any man that takes it, blah, 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 blah." So, and then another thing. New moon is the full moon. No Israelite camp teaches that nonsense. The Roman Catholics don't even teach that nonsense. The small hats don't even teach that nonsense. Nobody teaches that nonsense, man. Nobody on the planet Earth, from what I know, teaches that the new moon is the full moon. So then again, he went off. And then you got his zombies that whatever you say. If he he teach now that Cornelius is an Israelite. Had he kept teaching that Cornelius was an Edomite, his zombies would have said, "Nope, Cornelius is an Edomite. And you go to this precept and you hit that precept."
It hits your stomach and it becomes bitter because the judgment of it is not going to be fun. Now, this is the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Okay, and like I said, it's not just the IUIC that has false prophets. You have more and more groups that are stemming further and further away from the truth as time is going on. There's just they just come out with more and more wayward things. Now the Sakari talking about the 2/3 and the 1/3 is not talking about here in America. One body, I think is one body in Yahushua, talking about the Lord hates Jacob, loves Esau, all of these things. Okay, these are all false prophets. Okay, false teachers, which at one point, taught things that were, closely in line with the truth. But you've seen that over time, they've deviated more and more and more. And that's the spirit of the Heavenly Father doing that. And now they're bringing in these damnable heresies. Okay, and like it says, it's going to bring upon them swift destruction, as in this dream that I had. It says here, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, which when you go into that word, it basically means the destructive ways. And what's making their ways destructive is the deception, the lies. Because there's some of these things you can't even give them the benefit of the doubt to say, they're ignorant to this fact. No. There's just some things that that they're deliberately teaching incorrectly. As it says, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. Yeah, because you have individuals teaching false doctrines and basically throwing shots and shade and all that on us who are teaching the truth, and making it to seem that we are the ones that are speaking evil, that we are the ones that are wicked and so on and so forth, calling us, slandering us and all types of things. So people look at us, though we're teaching the correct truth, but they speak evil of it, because of all these lies and deceits. But guess what? I mean, it ain't about us anyway. So, we're going to keep doing what we got to do. Verse 3, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you. And that's exactly what they're doing. Okay. The reason you have these congregations that are so fattened up, for the most part, they accept, when instead of being a company of prophets, you want to be church-like, and you have all these women and children and men and all that, like all these church-like activities instead of focusing on just teaching the word. But you know what that comes with, right? It's money. Okay, it's money, because if we just take the bare bones of family structure, right? If I have 10 men in my congregation and I'm charging them each $1 to come to this event, well, if each of those men have families, then guess what? If a family consists of a man, a woman, and a child, guess what? Now I can multiply that by 3. Each man times 3. That's a man, his wife, and his child. That's $3 from each man right there. Okay, next thing you know, $3 times 10, that's $30 instead of 10. I may even say, well, you gotta have a family, you gotta have a woman to be in here. You gotta do X, Y, and Z. That's more heads, more money. But anyway, as it says, they're gonna make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. Because the Most High, the scriptures also talk about, he requires that which is past. Don't think that, we've been speaking against the things they've been teaching for years and years and years, and nothing has really happened to them. And the Most High never forgets. He's watching. Everything is timed. Okay, so that judgment is lingering. It's ready. It's right there, and at the right time, it will not linger. Okay, and as it says, their damnation slumbereth not. It won't be delayed. As with what I saw in that dream, because it was very, very sudden. I didn't see the cause. I just saw somebody got their ass thrown out, shirt ripped up, face messed up, and then they got to work on them. Okay, now I'm gonna jump down to verse 9. It says, "The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve," here's the part, "reserve the unjust onto the day of judgment to be punished." And ultimately, that's why when you read in the book of Revelation, the scriptures say, "He that is just, let him be just still," or "He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still." And that's also why the Lord blinded some of our people, because in order to reserve them onto the day of judgment, they need to stay unjust. They need to stay blinded. So at the point of judgment, you can see why they're receiving that judgment. And that's why ultimately, man, it's scary, but the Lord has it to where some individuals, no matter how clear you make it, no matter how loud you scream, no matter how many videos you do, they're not going to stop, and they're not going to get it, because their portion is to remain unjust. That they may.
Scriptures, I'm gonna close it. You can watch the rest of this on your own. Anyway, the scriptures speak about they shall follow their pernicious ways. There's plenty of scriptures on that, on false teachers. There was one precept that came to my mind, and deceivers and yet being deceived, stumbling blocks the Most High put up. If the Most High set up the deceiver, I, the Lord, have deceived him. Stumbling blocks, the Most High put the stumbling block before you. The Apostle Paul, the Apostle Paul was quoting King David in Romans 11 about them. Matter of fact, let me go to it real quick. Matter of fact, let me do this. Is it vomit? Right, this is a beautiful one. Proverbs 23, verse 8. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. Anybody that falls off, they go back into the world, or they break off from GMS, just dealing with GMS, the words are taken out of them. Matthew's 13 and around about the 12th verse, thereabouts, 12, 13 verse. Even that he have, it shall be taken away from him. So the sweet words is the truth. Like you had a handful of guys from Boston, GMS Boston, that broke off, and now they're teaching, and they broke off a couple of months ago. Now they're teaching that Edomites and nations can make it. You got some of the two guys, we call them Bert and Ernie. They teach that we know the real name of the Most High, and it's Mentos, whatever. So they're truly bugged out. It says, hast thou honey, eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomited up. And that, what precept come to mind? It says, it speaks about a novice being lest he be lifted up with pride, come under the condemnation of the devil. Because he done ate up all these words, he can memorize all these precepts. So he gets prideful. Then the devil come in, the spiritual demon in the spirit. So he's telling guys that taught him, well, I know more than you. You got to listen to me now. And we've been going through this thing of guys falling off and getting kicked out from the very beginning. How many men that were part of GMS either got kicked out or fell off and went back into the world? Hundreds, I would say. Yeah, one guy that he's a leader, and then when he leaves, his camp leaves with him, and then what happens is they all go their separate ways because they have no oil in them. When the oil's not in you, the light goes out, the fire goes out. Peter quoted Proverbs, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. If you was a Muslim, you came out of Islam, you joined Israel, you went back to Islam, you're a fool. You return unto your folly. Islam is folly compared to the Most High's word. This right here proves that this is America, not ancient Egypt. Isaiah 28 verse 8, for all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. See, as soon as I see in the video, give me 2 or 3 scriptures proving that East E is the white man, is the W man. I said, let me hear it. I said, maybe he's seeing if they know them scriptures. And I'm watching enough of the video to see that he's saying that, first of all, he's saying Esau is not the white man. And number 2, the Lord really loves Esau, not Jacob. He used to love Jacob, but now he hates Jacob. He used to hate Esau, but now he loves Esau. That's nowhere in the scriptures. It's nowhere in the scriptures. Give you one more and I'm going to close. Romans 11. The key verses in 9, I'll start 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, meaning the Israel of the Most High, and the rest were blinded. The rest of Israel were blinded. So the only ones that can get this and maintain this, the spirit of this truth, are only the elect. So you can know that you're in Israel. There's a lot of guys walking around knowing that they're Israel, but they're not of the elect. According as is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber eyes, that they should see not, and ears that they should hear not unto this day. And David saith, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see the truth. I'm adding that in there. And bow down their back always. Let me do this. Let me go to the word stumbling block. Yeah, Bishop Nathaniel is guilty of this law. The stumbling block is an actual block that they put before an actual blind person, right? But the stumbling block is also a philosophy that you put before someone that's spiritually blinded. So when he's saying that there's a hell, that's a stumbling block. Cast ye up, prepare the way, take up the stumbling block out of the way of my people. So that's our job. The stumbling block is Jesus is a white man. His name is not Jesus, Yahushua. We're the Israelites. The people over there in Israel are not the people. Babylon is the United States. Most High said, I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. I lay a stumbling block before him. It says again, when a righteous man doeth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, go back into the world, turn your back on the plow. I lay a stumbling block before him. You put a stumbling block. The Most High puts a stumbling block to see if you're going to pass the test. So the Most High is using Bishop Nate to put stumbling blocks in front of those people. So the ones that's going to ultimately fight against it or jump over the stumbling block or go another way are the ones that are the elect. If there's any of the elect in the school there, among the IUIC. He shall die because thou hast not given him warning. So every time you make videos getting on Nate, they get mad. Why are you getting on us? You jealous? No, it said give him warning. So when it does happen, you can't say, well, if the Most High sent somebody to tell. The Most High is sending somebody to tell you. It's us. Fool, he shall die in his sins, and his righteousness which he have done shall not be remembered. Lahab, your righteousness is not going to be remembered because you're teaching that Edomites and other nations can make it. Razak, you came on the scene 2 times on 2 YouTube channels, and that's it. We ain't seen you no more. So you're not one of the elect. Yeshaya, we don't know where Yeshaya is. He's not one of the elect. All you guys turn your back on the plow. You didn't defend the gospel. But his blood will I require at thy hand. All of these are good. All of these are good. The very first precept, give me a second. The very first precept is the law, and it's talking about an actual stumbling block. Like a rock. You say, oh, this is a blind person. Let me put this rock over here so he can fall. I can laugh at him. A stumbling block. But judge rather that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. So that's a spiritual stumbling block. Let's see what the Greek word for stumbling block. Let's see what the root word goes back to. Then I'm going to close. Stumbling block.
Strong's G 4348. Proskama. Proskama.
A stumbling block, an obstacle in the way, which if one strikes his foot against, he stumbles and falls. That over which a soul stumbles, i.e., by which is caused by sin, which is missing the mark. And when you teach that hell is an eternal place, that's a sin. That's a sin to teach that. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.